Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me here today. Yes, it's very nice to be back. Nice to have a little bit of a break for a few days.
Yes, it's very good to be here as well, nice to be back with you guys here in the studio.
Well, I suppose now the Fantasy Premier League season is over, the 2020-2021. It's all done and dusted, and we've again must give congratulations to Only the Best, who were our winners. Tobogger 5 came in second, and Arkham Avengers were in third place. So congratulations to each of those managers on their achievement. Now, just because the football season is over doesn't mean that our job has to stop either. Now, I don't think so. I think we have a lot of preparation work to do for our listeners. And when our listeners tune in to hear our show, they're looking for an insight as well as an entertainment factor. And that's why during these couple of weeks before the football starts, we are going to be talking about the genesis of how you get your team together and what you have to do. Hector?
Yes, I will be talking about the players who to look for. Say, for example, I speak highly of the Chelsea players, and they do well. They win Champions League, and I think that's very good. It's all very good.
I'm impressed that they did win.
Oh, very impressed. They were very, very good. The Mountain Mount and the Hasvis, they're very good. And they are players for next season to be watching.
Okay. Right, okay. Let's get down to business. Hector, I'll start with you. You're a listener. You know nothing about the fantasy football. You know nothing about the Arkham Avengers League. You hear your work colleagues talking about this player got me, a bonus, a triple captain. I forgot to play a wild card. Maybe you've got a brother, a sister, a cousin. Maybe you're listening to us here on the show. What do we do to get involved, Hector?
Well, first of all, you have to go to the website. It's the fantasy.premier league website. You will be putting this up.
I'll have this in the notes, yes.
And when you go there, it's very easy. You go to that website, then you're going to enter the world of the fantasy football. And we call it football over here. I know for our friends in America, there is football, the NFL. And it is known as soccer there. We call it football, they call it soccer. And so you go into this and you sign up. You have to enter your details, your name, your email address, you set a password. Then you can go on and you select, maybe if you have a favorite team, maybe you like the Aston Villa or the West Ham, maybe you like Arsenal, Liverpool, those sort of teams like that there. You factor them in.
Very well, Hector. So you have factored in these, this your favorite team and your favorites. And I take it you probably end up, would you in a country, or are you in the overall league?
Well, at this point, you're going to be in the global league. You're going to be in the overall league for the fantasy football, and then you're going to be in your country league. And if you select a team, you're in a league for that particular team then. So you are.
All right, okay. That's quite interesting. So you've signed up. You have a username, which is probably your email, your password. Do you have a team, though?
No, you have no team at the moment. No team.
So how do you get a team, Hector?
Well, you'll have 100 million is your budget, and you have to pick 15 players. And those players come from the Premier League in the UK. That's the league they come from there. And, I think, though, Eamon going to talk about the points before we get into the team there.
Okay. Now, Eamon, over to yourself. You've signed up. You've got a name for your team, I take it. Hector, would you need a name?
Yes, you would need to have a name. And you can also, design your own kit. You can have different colors for your shirt and your shorts and socks and make it look nice for your own team as such like that.
Okay. So, Eamon, we have no team. What are we doing? Well, I suppose it'd be very easy to go in and decide that you wanted to play and pick your team. But I think it's also very important that we have an understanding of how you get points in this. You're going to pick 11 players on the pitch playing for you out of 15. And you want to maximize those 11 that they are getting you bang for buck for points. Now, of course, our season has the 2021-2022 season won't open until sort of like middle of August. But this is going to give our listeners time. We'll be talking about this. As Hector says, I'm going to discuss the points because points is what win you leagues in this. It's points that you need to get. Okay, Eamon. Tell us about the points, so. Okay. There are a number of ways you can get points here. The easiest way, of course, is that firstly, you're going to have your 11 players on the pitch and they're playing. And if they all play up to 60 minutes, each of them will get 1 point each. And if they play 60 minutes or more, they'll get 2 points. And let's not forget, one of those players will be your captain. And the captain gets double points. Okay. So basically you're saying you could have 11 players playing for 60 minutes. They'll each get 2 points. And the captain will get an extra 2 points. Is that right? That's right. That's right. Okay. You wouldn't get much points for that. Would that be normal though? I mean, well, look, you're going to have, hopefully, you're going to have players who are getting assists and maybe goals. And I'm going to talk about this now. Okay, so you're going to have a goalkeeper who's going to try and stop goals going in. And you're going to have defenders. Now, you could have, 3, 4, or 5 defenders. And they're going to try and defend your goal as such and your goalkeeper. And you have midfielders then, and you have forwards. The number of defenders you have will impact on how many midfielders and how many forwards you can have. But let's say you've decided to have, maybe 4 midfielders, four defenders at the back there. Now, if your goalkeeper or your defender scores a goal, they will get 6 points. And if a midfielder scores a goal, he'll get 5 points. And the forward, if he scores a goal, will get 4 points. Now, I mentioned assists. And if a football player assists another player who scores a goal, then the guy who helped him, it's called an assist, he'll get 3 points. Say, for example, you have a midfielder, he has the ball, he passes it over, lovely pass over to your forward who scores a goal. That guy wouldn't have scored that goal if the midfielder didn't pass it. That's the assist. And, forwards can assist midfielders. Any players, you could have a midfielder assisting a defender. Okay, interesting. Anything else there on that? Okay. You're going to look for a goalkeeper. You're going to try and buy a goalkeeper and defenders who are going to keep clean sheets. And clean sheets is not letting in any goals. And if you have a goalkeeper and your defenders who see out the 60 minutes and don't let a goal in, they're going to get 4 points. Okay. And if your midfielder keeps a clean sheet, he'll get 1 point. Okay. Because midfielders play an impact on that there. If your goalkeeper saves 3 shots on goals, say some guy's taking shots at him there, and he saved 3 shots, he'll get a point. If your goalkeeper saves a penalty, he'll get 5 points. Now, if you have a guy taking a penalty and he misses that, he's going to lose 2 points.
Ouch, that'd be sore.
Yes, we wouldn't want that now. So that's something to watch out for. Now, there's also bonus points. I'll talk about those very shortly here. And, they range between 1 to 3 points for players. Now, if your goalkeeper or defender is letting in goals, and they let in 2 goals, your goalkeeper lets in 2 goals, he's going to lose a point. Your defender is also going to be affected because his job is to try and keep this out. All right, okay. And don't forget now, if a player ends up getting a yellow card, he will lose 1 point. And if a player gets a red card, he will lose 3 points. And if one of your guys puts the ball in his own net, he'll lose 2 points. Okay. Now, I mentioned the red card, and your player would lose 3 points on that there. If a player gets a red card, not only is he going to lose the 3 points, but if his team start conceding goals, say that goalkeeper lets in 2 goals or 4 goals, remember, every 2 goals he lets in, he's losing a point. So if he lets in 4 goals, there's another minus 2 points. The guy who got the red card is now minus 5. All right, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? Might be a bit harsh. I'd teach him not to be getting himself sent off there. That's the thing.
Yeah, I agree, Eamon. I think you're right there. I think you have to get players who are not going to be sent off.
Okay. Now, I did mention the bonus point. Now, the bonus point means that the 3 best performing players in each match, they're going to be awarded bonus points. And it's 3 points for the highest scoring player, 2 points for the next best player, and it's 1 point for the third best. Now, there's a couple of variations on this. So, for example, if there was a tie for first place, you have 2 players, both of them have done really well, they've got the same points, maybe they've scored the same amount of goals. So, in that instance, player 1 and 2 would get 3 points each, and the third player would get 1 point. If you had a tie for second place, player 1 will get his 3 points, player 2 and player 3 would each get 2 points. And if you had a tie for third place, player 1 will get 3 points, player 2 will get 2 points, and then player 3 and 4 will get 1 point each. Okay, that's interesting. How are the bonus points, how are they determined, or what determines them? Oh, they're based on statistics, that they are. I'm not going to get into that here now because that would confuse our listeners here, but it's based on the statistics of players. Have they played up to 60 minutes? Have they played 60 minutes or more? Goalkeeper or defender scoring a goal, assists, clean sheets, key passes of a ball, successful dribbles, scoring a goal that wins a match. And this is based on, statistics of the real life football. Okay. All right. So we'll stay out of that. Okay. So there's your points. So pretty much what you're saying, Eamon, is that you want a good goalkeeper, good defenders, midfielders that can assist, and forwards who can score. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. Okay. And you mentioned there, Hector said you need 15 players. We've touched on this before, didn't we? Remind me what we need in the squad. Okay, we need 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 3 forwards. And you can select 3 players from any one of the single Premier League teams. So, example, if you wanted, 3 guys from Liverpool, that's it. You take 3 guys from Liverpool. You can't have 4. All right, okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Hector, have you anything to add on that there?
Not at the moment. I do say, when you're picking the team and we will look at this, you want to look at the players who have good form and have done well last season and maybe the season before, and we will look at that. All right, okay.
Right. I think that's about it for this episode. Thanks, gentlemen, for your input and for the knowledge there. Eamon, very insightful about the points. Thank you. You're more than welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Hector, thank you as well there for explaining how we can get into the league. And we'll put a link in the notes there for the show if anybody just wants to have a look. I know you can't do much at the moment, but you could get yourself registered. Thank you. And thank you, listener, for joining us. We'll be back next week. We'll continue talking about structures of the team, getting the team, how you get the players as such. Hope you've enjoyed our episode today, and don't forget to subscribe, tell your friends, and enjoy the show. Thank you very much, and stay safe.